Welcome to Aleph Academy. My name is Nishcal and I'm a Chief Technology Officer in Aleph. With the increasing reliance on technology and the growing number of cyber threats, it's crucial that we understand the importance of securing our applications. Just like a house needs locks, alarms, and other security measures to keep intruders out, an application needs firewalls, encryptions, and access controls to protect against unauthorized access. As a homeowner might periodically inspect their house for vulnerabilities and make necessary repairs, application developers should regularly perform security audits and update software to address potential vulnerabilities. It's also important to limit access to sensitive data, just as homeowner would keep their valuables in a safe. By taking application security seriously and implementing appropriate security measures, you can ensure that your application remains protected from potential cyber attacks. Application securities refer to the three core principles of information security: CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These principles forms the foundation of effective security program, including the application security. Confidentiality refers to the protection of sensitive information from unauthorized disclosures. This means that only authorized users should be able to access the view sensitive data, such as personal information or financial records. Confidentiality can be achieved through the use of access controls, encryptions, and other security measures. Integrity refers to the protection of data from unauthorized modifications. In the context of application security, this means that data should remain accurate and unaltered. Integrity can be achieved through the use of data validations, error checking mechanisms, as well as through the use of digital signatures or checksum. Availability refers to the protection of the application from downtime or other disruptions, ensuring that users have access to the application when they need it. Availability can achieve through the use of redundant system, load balancings, other resilience measures. Together, these three principles form the CIA triad and are essential to ensuring the security and safety of applications and the data they have. By implementing appropriate security measures to protect confidentiality, integrity, and availability, organizations can help ensure the protection of their applications and the sensitive data they handle. Let's review some of the significant vulnerabilities we may see in our everyday applications development life. Reverse engineering. Attackers can use reverse engineering to understand how an application is designed and how it communicates with other systems, allowing them to identify weakness and exploit them for malicious purpose. In the case of web application, it's pretty easy. Using the web browser development tools, you can inspect all the script files. Let's quickly review one of the sample React-based applications where we are listing latest news from PC World website. This is a front-end application which is listing down latest news from one of the API which we are calling it. To know more about, just right-click, inspect, and this inspection itself can give you a lot of things. We will focus on the source tab, and when I click on the source tab inside the assets, actually you can see the index.javascript file. In this index.javascript file, if I scroll for a while, I think we can easily see that this is a React.js programming language. Of course, React.js, whenever you create a production version, it minified and give you the minification version. But even though if it is a minification version, you can understand the code, and if as a professional you look into it, this code, you will be able to know that where the API is called and what is the function related to the API. Now, how I can avoid reverse engineering of my code, which is written in JavaScript or React.js. Easiest way is that look out some of the JavaScript's scrambled codes. Obfuscation is there. You can use the obfuscator, JavaScript obfuscators. For this example, I just use obfuscator.io. Very simple way. Just insert your JavaScript file, use the highest preset, which is the highest level of obfuscation, and generate the output and use that output as your application. So this is another version with the new obfuscation JavaScript file. Now I right click, inspect. The moment I did right click, inspect, wait for a while, and you will see that you are not going into the source code level, but it's always take you to the debugger mode. And when I go and look and open for a JavaScript file, it takes a while, but when you look into the code, I think it's more looks like a hexa code, and it's very difficult to identify where is the API is called in this application. That's one of the way to hide or obfuscate your code. But even though you're obfuscating it, we will still recommend that you are not using any secret data, API key, or personal data inside our code. Front end is very vulnerable with this. What happened to Android? Yes, we all rely on ProGuard to protect our code. That's not good enough for professional users. Let me quickly show one of the Android app where we can see the content using JetX utility. For Android, we will use JetX tool to decompile our APK file. Once we have opened the APK file, you can click on the main activity to see the source of main activity file. Remember, we have already obfuscated our code using a ProGuard. But still, there are some of the stuff which will be still not obfuscated and which help us to read out and understand the logic. On create, we are detecting the root, whether device is rooted or not, whether app is debuggable or not. And if we start looking into it more on this, you will find that there is a functions on how to find whether this device is rooted or not. And you can also find some of the other logic to find what encryption keys have been used. Now, how to avoid this? Of course, to obfuscate your dex app file, which is the real file which is converted into this format, you have to use some tools which can help you to do this. GuardSquare provides DexGuard to you to use it, or you can use a -o, which is provided by Preemptive. iOS app can also be reverse engineered and re-signed to build copy of any existing apps available in the market. This also brings the thinking on how we can save our application from the runtime threads. Bringing back to Android app, where I can use popular tool Farida, which allows me to run silently in devices, and it can run scripts to override any logic. I will demo this using my emulator, where I have installed the app, which while ago I showed to you. When I open up this app, it shows me a root detected, and when I press OK button, it closes the app. In a way, I can't do anything in this application. Now, what I did was I installed the Farida inside this emulator, and now I'm running that Farida server inside the emulator. On the other side, what I do is that I write a very small script, and that script, after understanding the reverse engineering, what I did was I just bypass all the root detection function in the application. Now over here, I go and now I will going to run the Farida command, but this time I will be running this root bypass JavaScript, which I just wrote it all over here. It will take some time, but not much, to open up my app without root detections. It has bypassed everything. Now it's more functionable for you. You can use your app, you can write down secret, you can verify it, everything you can do it. This is one of the example where we where we can temper application of the runtime. Very common attack is man-in-the-middle MITM attack, where data transfer between your laptop or mobile is read, modified, and routed to your API server. This will impact to your integrity or confidentiality of CIA tribe. OWASP Z-Attack Proxy is a free and open source application security scanner and testing tool. Let me show you how this works and help us to identify security issues in our web applications. Going back to React-based application, where we are listing down all the latest news from the external web page. There's one API call, and those API call is bringing up all this data. We open up the Zap tool, and over here there is an option called Automate Scan. Click on this and enter the URL which you want to scan it, and just press an attack button. Within a few minutes, you will start seeing the result. Of course, you will see some of the scope is out of scope for a reason. This is an external website and we don't want it to scan all the external websites. Our primary focus is only limited to two hosts, which is our local host, 3000 port, where my APIs are hosted, and 8083, where my UI was hosted. Within a few minutes, you will be able to start seeing the result and some of the highlighted medium issues. For an example, here cross-domain misconfiguration error is shown us, and it is highlighted as a medium, which means must be fixed. Similarly, there will be some low priority issues where you will be seeing like it mentions about Express server is being used. This simple tool can help you out to identify security vulnerability in your website. Well, this tool doesn't end over here, but it also helps you to work as a man-in-the-middle attack, where you can actually go and change the request and retrigger to identify how your API behaves. In the end, once the whole scan system is finished, and ultimately you can just click on the final generate report to see the report. I've extracted the one report which is generated by the Zap scanning from the same application. And how you can fix this issue. They have their own website where they can provide a solution on fixing it. It's a quite helpful tool to identify ourselves what are the vulnerabilities in our website. This is not only the one tool, there are other tools also available in the market which we can use it to identify vulnerabilities in our applications. OWASP stands for the Open Web Application Security Project. It is a non-profit organization dedicated to improving the security of software applications. OWASP provides free and open resource tools and guidelines for developers and organizations to use in order to build secure applications. Third-party library may contain vulnerabilities that can be exploited by attackers. Recently, we have seen issue with Log4j library, which forced us to upgrade to new version. If we use more third-party library in our application, then it will be more vulnerable and expensive to maintain. We shouldn't be using outdated version. Hence, we must keep reviewing the new versions and updating our application with it. Better approach is that to work with your DevSec operation to integrate tools which help in doing static scanning to identify obsolete third-party SDK library or any vulnerabilities in your application. GitHub, GitLabs come with these SAST, static application security testings. But there are a number of other tools like Veracode can also review static code. Going back to reverse engineering, we all know that it is possible to replicate a website or mobile application. This tends to approach where attackers send SMS or email notification to target customer with link to fake site and ask a user to enter secure data. Phishing attacks are a common form of cybercrime that use deceptions and social engineering to trick individuals into disclose sensitive information. These attacks can be highly effective and can cause significant harm to both individual and organization. New innovations and AI tools are helping creative energy to build customer-friendly secured applications. But this is also giving access to attackers to innovate new way to attack customers. Role of DevOps changed to DevSecOps, which adds automated security testing within our build pipeline. Interestingly, AI-based tools like Deep Exploit can perform fully automated penetration testing. Remember, application security is an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. By prioritizing security and making it a part of our everyday practice, we can reduce the risk of security incidents and protect our organization from harm. Thank you for listening this stream. I hope this will add up some awareness on application security. Application security is a vast subject. Hoping some of the demo might help you reviewing your existing application with the aspect of security framework. See you soon.